Episode 7 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes is one of the most interesting episodes thus far within the series. Here we have this new character. Her name is Makoto. And Makoto is somewhat like an investigative journalist, if you will. And she even seems to have a quirk that works like a polygraph. Pretty much a lie detector. So she can detect lies. And what happened at the end is actually interesting. But before we get into that, I just love this episode so much. Because like I said, it was so refreshing because we get to learn about the truth about Pop Step, the Crawler, and Knuckle Duster. The truth about how people view them. What do they really actually think about them? And it's just one of those things. Street episodes are always interesting. They're fun, especially when it's about Japan. You see them all the time, even here in the real world on TikTok or on Shorts, YouTube Shorts, and these things like this. They go on the street and they interview people. So here, the Crawler, this lad right here, goes on the streets with Makoto, and so they go on the street to ask people about what do they think about these vigilantes. What do they really think about them? And it's honestly really surprising. It was a little bit surprising how honest they are. They were brutally honest. They were not holding back. You would think like in a street interview, you'd probably hold back a little bit. You don't expect this from like people who drink or people who are party people or maybe extroverts. Well, I guess they are outside, so they would have to be a little bit extroverted. But they're just interviewing everyday people from young to old. So even the young people were like expressing themselves very honest, even to the older gentlemen. And so here they talk about Pop Step in this episode. So let's go here. So right here they're talking about the Crawler. And it's just hilarious what they said about the Crawler. They're really dogging on him. Like right here you can say, the Crawler's, and then right here he's like a little nervous because he is a Crawler. But yeah, they call him creepy, guys. They call him like creepy, but very useful. And it was just a little bit. It sucks for him because he was witnessing this firsthand because he is the Crawler and he's now learning what everybody thinks about him. But the funniest, and of course, with Knuckle Duster as well, they were saying how he was scary and like, right here, this old lady saying he's a nice boy. But when we get to Pop Step, the thing that really was hilarious is that the majority of what people see, look, Pop is cute, her butt's all out there. Look, right there, guys, firsthand, the old lady right there said that Pop, her butt was out there. And of course, they interviewed other people and they were saying, oh, the girl name is Pop. So they were saying how, yeah, she has a nice rear. Look at this. He hides it. And then, so, everyone's mentioning her butt. And, of course, they're also mentioning that she's cute. Stuff like this about Pop. And so, who says that about, and especially in a street interview, oh, yeah, I like her butt. Maybe the cute part is kind of like what I was expecting. They're saying, oh, yeah, she's cute and stuff like this. Then even here, let me pause this really quick. It says right here, Pop Step. Others, wow, people think she was cringy. That's it. Wow, that's actually very interesting. They think Pop Step. Okay, so this is other. She's cringy. Talk about her butt, and the one right here with this kana is an I. It means kawaii. So the other, this right here, this is other, cringy, her butt, and that she's really cute. So, and then over here, the Crawler is she's creepy. He's creepy, handy but creepy, seems decent but creepy, weird and creepy. And then there's other. Bro, that's hilarious as hell. Then here, for the geezer or Knuckle Duster, don't know him. He's scary. He's dangerous. Don't want to get involved. And then other right here. I wonder what this other stuff is. Like, there's other stuff, miscellaneous. Maybe he's cool, whatnot. I don't know why they don't. Like, this other, just so much miscellaneous stuff right here. But yeah, as you can see here, what people actually really thought within the interview. And so, Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see here. It says she's cute. So they're translating. Oh, the other stuff is they're saying I love her. Okay, that makes sense. Wonder if they show other stuff. What? Okay. So yeah, as you guys can see here, this was probably one of the most honest episodes I've seen, and this girl Makoto is very interesting as well. Her interactions with Crueler and the interactions with when she was in his apartment, guys. Yes, you heard that right. She was in his apartment, and I just loved seeing how Pop Step was just so jealous of the situation. And they even said that, you know, she was in a bad, Crueler was saying, wow, she's in a really bad mood all of a sudden out of nowhere. Let me see if I can show it right here really quick. Yes, right here. Yep, she's in the apartment, you know. And it was really interesting too, learning about the Vigilantes, about the hero associations, and how it all came to be more organized. And as you can see here, they're talking about how the United States was the first nation to actually organize the hero agency versus who is, you know, the villain. So they were trying to like just organize it just to identify who's actually villain and who's actually a hero, in order to get rid of the vigilantes. But of course here, you know, there's still vigilantes around. It's not like they Thanos snapped all of them. Let me see. So yeah, she's in this room, and then Pop Steps in the back. Bro, look at this. Oh my god. She's like a voyeur, bro. She's over here being such a voyeur. Where's that? Yeah, you guys heard that? Yeah, she was watching. No, but she was mad. She was mad watching this, bro. She was hate watching this. You know, she was in the corner watching. She was being forced to watch this interaction between the lad and Makoto. But to be fair, the lad didn't know Pop Step was even in his apartment. So yeah, guys, that is all I really want to share. This was such a great episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.